the Allied player's air force, I would think that he can attack any position of the map at any given time, so it's going to be pretty hard, actually very hard, for the Empire player to defend these many locations at the same time just with this small number of tankers, although he is doing a good job of putting defensive drone on them, so the combat effectiveness is sky high. They can be rivals of 3 Apollo fighters there, shooting 1 down but letting 2 escape, going back to their base to repair themselves. I would assume that Allied players after this encounter will build more Apollo fighters to cope with a large number of air force coming from the Empire player, or indeed transition into some mech play and build up his armor facility at the center of the map, looking to overwhelm his opponent. That's the general style of play for Allied players. You want to overwhelm your opponent in terms of tax and numbers at the later stage of the game. That's why Allied players are so unstoppable at the later stage. But enough of the general concepts of the game. I'm sure all the fans out there know how to play this game. Just go ahead and try to make this game more entertaining. Now we see that all the Apollo fighters has been shut down for the Allied player, and the Empire player is doing a good job of regaining the air superiority. So now no aerial bombardment can be conducted by the Allied player. Although he is rebuilding his Apollo fighter counts, now he has 3. He's going to have 4. I can only assume that this is 4. And he's building the 4th? Is he building the 4th? Yes, this is the 4th. Apollo fighters here. 4 Apollo fighters is fairly hard to cope with. You have to pay a considerable number of Tengus and commit them to aerial battles to deal with that kind of firepower and armor indeed. And we see that the Empire player is actually being greedy here. He's built another refinery core, looking to expand to the 4 o'clock expansion. If it does, then he will be 2 refinery up of his opponents. His production cycle will be much longer. Excuse me, should be much shorter, so he has more production rates. Empire players are most scary when they're mobile, so the winning of Empire players actually depend on using the right units at the right time on the right place. So it doesn't really matter how short or how effective your production is. It's all about overwhelming your opponent's mind with precision attacks. And we see the Empire player is actually not doing a good job of it, but his micro is certainly far more superior than mine. Well, I am an Empire player, so I know how hard it is to counter this kind of aerial control of the Allied player just using the Tengus. Once you land the Tengus, they can be bombarded by Vindicators, but once you fly them up, they are no match for the Vindicators, so it's going to be quite an awkward position for the Empire player to be in, although he has lured the Allied player into an aerial battle near his base, but not getting much out of it. All the Apollo fighters who remain alive are now flying back to their airbase to be repaired. And we see that the Allied player has been applying pressure to his opponent. He's slowly building up his mech army, although at this point he doesn't really have much. Keep in mind that he only has 3 refineries, so supporting 1 armor facility and 2 air bases, which is in the units of which is continually being consumed by the engagement with his opponent's force, it's going to be quite heavy for this level of macro, although he is doing a good job of harassing the Empire player's refinery with just 1 ACV being very annoying, bringing down the ore connector of the Empire player to the red and delaying the mining considerably. And we see that when he's doing that, he's actually conducting a 2-pronged attack using 1 ACV to draw all the Tengus to the water side so that he can move his air force in place without being intercepted, and move 2 tanks and 2 multi-gun gunners, which are extremely effective against their units, to harass the center expansion of the Empire player. We will see the Empire player paying the price of producing sheerly tier 1 units. He has not upgraded his Mega Bay, which is only unit production facility here. Excuse me, a bit of glitch again. He has not upgraded any of his unit production facilities, which is at the count of 1, and is just producing Tengus. Perhaps he's looking to overwhelm, his opponents with sheer numbers of Tengus. As we see, it's looking fairly unlikely to happen now with the sort of air force that the Allied player has, and with the fact that he's pressing the Empire player's front door with all those mech units. The Empire player is good. He should be lifting up his Tengus now, just half of it to deal with the aerial compartment and half of it to deal with the ground force. But evidently not. He has spread out all his Tengus, shooting down one of the Apollo fighters. Good job by him. If I were the Empire player and I have this sort of economic advantage, I would be building up two mega bases just to produce units, produce Tengus and tsunami tanks at the same time and overwhelm my opponent, and perhaps producing units at one and upgrading the other at the same time. So I'll take my opponent as well. Once you get a waveform artillery out, it's going to be quite hard for the Allied player to defend against it if he doesn't have the right units, especially when I'm pressing against his base. You know, since the front line of the Allied player's base is so close to the center of the map. Actually, it's at the center of the map. You know, not the exact center of the map, but it's at the center area of the map. Since his base is at the center of the map, you can press to his front very easy, although he's not quite doing a good job of it. Now we see that he doesn't have enough unit count to deal with one general rank Guardian tank, and the other using the beam to weaken the tsunami tank's armor, even with the mega base support. He's going to have to land his Tengus in order to deal with this, but his micros lifts, he let the Allied players, Apollo fighters, get in range and shoot down the Tengus one by one without being concentrating fire upon by the Tengus. This is not good at all for the Empire player. We see that the Apollo fighter count has now down to 1, but it is a general, so it's going to be extremely deadly. And without any form of anti-air, now the Allied player will be free to bombard the Empire player with no problem with Vindicators. We see that the aggressive style of play of Allied player is now paying off. The unit production facility is so close to his opponent's base that he can continuously put up pressure to his opponent without worrying too much of the timing attack and going around the backside and backstab, this sort of thing, which Empire players are generally good at. And in a straight up battle, I would say that the Allied player has the absolute advantage, especially concerning the Air Force. And he is even using the secret protocol there, looking to freeze some of the units so they're negative one shots by any form of attack. Although it doesn't matter, look at this, just one general Vindicators there, one-shotting 2 of the tsunami tanks, bringing the tank count of the Empire player to 2. I think if there are the moves in now, he can overwhelm his opponents just with sheer numbers and pressure. And we see that the Empire player is very wisely putting up Strike of the X, which is very effective anti-air unit. And he's still actually 1 refinery up. It's 3 refinery against 4. So his unit production rate is not going to be hindered at all. Even he's continuously producing them.
Guardian tank awaiting deployment.
No, actually it is.
VX, all systems green.
Well, I was gonna say that is the Allied player not smart enough to